So different jobs,
Yeah.
right? Just to survive here.
Oh yes, just to survive because you had 3 children. Even though they were not in fees-paying schools, they were in public schools, but we had to feed, we had to pay our rents, bills, and all that. Yeah, it was tough, but I was determined to do my 2 years of school and find my pathway through permanent residence.
Yeah. Thank you very much for allowing me to have a one-on-one interview with you. It is a great opportunity for me to feature you to my channel. So how are you, Rita?
Thank you so much, Sok, for having me in your space today. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much, and I hope you are too.
Yeah, that's good.
Beautiful day.
Okay, so just so you know, my channel is all about immigration, tips, informations. I'm sharing opportunities too, and I am featuring people who have their experience, their journey coming here to Canada, so that those people who are aspiring to come here to Canada
Yeah.
will be inspired through real life stories. All right. So Rita, how long have you been here in Canada?
That will be 9 years
9 years.
by August. I'll be 9 years with my children. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. And what do you do for a living?
Okay. Currently, I'm an IT consultant. I'm into my own private IT consulting business. So I do jobs for government, for private sector, and I also have some side hustles that I do.
Okay.
I'm a salad master consultant. I'm also a coach, a life coach. Yes, that's something I've been writing my book, but the life coach thing just started. And you're one of the first interviews I'll be doing. Thank you.
So I'm glad on the work that you are doing, and also you mentioned that you are going to be launching this book.
Yes.
That you are doing, and also you wanted to create a YouTube channel.
Yes.
A Facebook page.
Correct.
Right. So I am excited for that.
Thank
right?
you.
And then, so let's talk a little bit about your book that you are trying to write.
Okay.
So what's it all about?
Okay. So when I started writing, the idea was to have a book published about my journey as a widow.
Yeah.
So that happened about almost 13 years by October years ago, and I felt like I've met some other people who have been through what I've been through, and they're not looking as good, or they haven't progressed as much. And I believe I have something to offer because I have gone through this journey. It's my journey, and I believe that that was the idea of the book. So the book, but right now what it is a compendium of books. It's going to be about 4 books in one. So, but the first part is the widow one, which is already complete.
Okay.
So what I want to do, I will talk with the publisher if it's something that I have to wait to publish all at the same time, or start with one and I can be adding other books to it. The other books that will come up will be my journey as a single parent. Yeah, so my journey back home, so I'm a Nigerian, back home as a single parent in the 3 years I stayed there before coming this way. And coming here. So there are 2 different lifestyles. So back home in Nigeria, we had support from neighborhood, family, church, but here is a different ballgame. You are dealing with your children yourself. So that's one. Then I want to also, the third book is going to be about my profession. So I've been a seasoned banker for over 20 years before coming to Canada. So, but how I metamorphosed my banking career to IT is a journey I would like to tell. Yeah. And also the hustles of walking in the corridors of professionalism back home, here, there's a lot I believe I've learned and mistakes I've made, and
Yeah.
I would like to share.
Yeah, I'm very interested with that, right? Because it is somehow connected with my platform about people coming to Canada
Yes.
from different background, different nationalities. My fellow Filipinos are aspiring to come here to Canada. And you, coming from your country, Nigeria,
Yeah.
going to Canada, will be a great story that we can tell our audience
I believe
so
so.
that they will understand your, I would say, journey
Yes.
coming here to Canada. And then the same thing with your book that you are launching. And I am privileged to talk to you.
Thank you.
Because, you know, you'll be releasing the book, and the book will be all about, I mean, coaching,
Yes.
all about you, your journey, and you will be featured first on my YouTube channel.
Thank you.
And on my Facebook page too.
Thank you very much.
All right. So now let us dig deeper, because like I've mentioned, I'm interested more all about your journey. Yeah, so that people will kind of have at least an idea on what your journey is all about. Okay, so you mentioned you came from Nigeria, and that
Yes.
was when was that?
In 2016.
2016.
Second visit, but
Okay.
final trip was 2016.
Yeah, so 2016. And why did you move to Canada? What's the inspiration? What led you to decide to come to Canada?
Okay, so something happened, like I mentioned, I'm a widow. Back in 2012, we lost my children's dad and my husband. Before then, he had said he wanted to leave the country. So he tried to go to Dublin, you know, but it wasn't as friendly for immigrants. So I was there a couple of times to visit him, and we didn't see any pathway that we could have settled in as for me to go back and bring the children. So after about 3 years there, he had to come back home. Unfortunately, when he came back home, after we did the next 3 years after he came back, he passed.
Oh,
So
that's sad.
when he passed, that was really sudden.
Yeah,
He had
definitely.
never been sick. It was the first time of being sick in all the almost 17 years of marriage. He's never been to hospital. So, but after that happened, I had a stronger reason to leave my country. Two things. First of all, I think three things actually. The most important reason was I had some not too good attitude from my in-laws.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't feel comfortable, and I had a job that was too tasking. For a single parent, now my life has changed. So I believe that I needed something lighter to do and yet make money.
And what pathway did you apply for to come to Canada?
Yeah, so coming to Canada, I didn't know how, but I had consulted with or contacted a friend who I had here in Canada, and she introduced me to some people who sat me down, talked me, since you're a widow now, the permanent residence pathway, that's the expert entry, may not work for you because already I was far above the required age of maybe 42. I was far above that. And I was a single parent. I didn't have any Canadian experience either by work or by schooling. So I had to choose the study pathway as the international student pathway. Yeah.
So, being a widow, do you have to leave your children behind or come here to Canada with them with the student permit, or?
Yeah, at the time I did it, I had a choice of coming alone because I saw that doing a degree that would be about 18 months would not allow you bring your family in.
Yeah.
So I chose to do a degree that was 24 months. So with 24 months, I saw it on the website that you come with your family. So that was what I did. Yeah, so I came with my family, but a lot has changed now from 8 years ago. A lot has really changed. I don't think students can still come in with their family in Canada right now straight away. Maybe you might need to get your PR before you bring your children in. But as at my time, I made a lot of inquiries and I was able to come in with my children from the first day.
But how was life bringing your children here under a student visa permit.
Right, life was tough.
Yeah.
Because as a student, first of all, I had to work only 20. I had the policy says I have to work about 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
And at the minimum pay, most likely.
I know.
And I was doing a master's degree. My children were between the ages of 17 and 11. And so they were in high school. So we really depended a lot. But the good thing was, for me, was because I'm a person who asks a lot of questions. So I made, and my school, Dalhousie University, they had a lot of support for international students with family. So yes, first of all, we also got the resident accommodation that was meant for international students with their family. So it was subsidized. It was very low cost, yes.
Yeah.
And we had the family. Dalhousie University comes with family package. The gym, the facilities, bicycles, were all. So I registered myself and my children for everything. We used the food bank a lot. A lot. And it was just where I stayed was within campus. So I wasn't paying transport to anywhere. I was walking around. But the part that was tough most was getting jobs outside school, because you could get limited jobs hours in school. I was a teaching assistant. But I was doing very minimal hours, but I had to do jobs outside school off, like weekend times or evening times. So I worked security jobs. I worked at hotel for housekeeping. I worked.
So different jobs, right? Just to survive here.
Oh yes, just to survive, because you had 3 children. Even though they were not in fees-paying schools, they were in public schools, but we had to feed, we had to pay our rents, bills and all that, It was tough, but I was determined to do my 2 years of school and find my pathway through permanent residence. Because if I had fallen out of school, perhaps, I would have been asked to leave, because everybody with me would have been out of status. So I won't be able to move on to the worker status and then get to permanent resident and then citizenship. So it was a process. The pathway is a pathway, like they say. You start by being a student, you graduate with your degree, and then you apply for work permit, postgraduate work permit. That is given to you. With that, you can now find any of the pathways to settle in the country. I chose the Atlantic immigration pathway. That was the first year. It was a protocol. The first year that was started. The AIPP, that was the first year. So we had to go to the pathway. I schooled in the Atlantic. I was able to get my permanent residence through a designated employer. So that's what I did, and eventually citizenship today.
For me, that is something very inspirational, considering you have 3 children. You came here to Canada as a student. Life is tough for students, right? Especially, you mentioned you have limited hours of work. But I saw that you are a bright person.
Thank you.
Because you've mentioned you ask a lot of questions, which is, I think, very important for people who are coming here to Canada to do their diligent research. Ask a lot of questions, because life is tough here. Right? It's tough, especially if you are a student, like financially. Right? Having to take care of your children as well. All those pressures, right, in life here in Canada. So did you ever felt like during those I would say initial years of your life here in Canada, have you felt like giving up?
I think I'm human. So the background of me that I haven't mentioned so far is the fact that I'm very spiritual. So I'm a born-again Christian. So that for me was like 90% of my problem solved. Because before I take a step, I seek God's guidance and His consent. And in my 12 years journey, He's actually been very helpful, because He shows me things. So I'm also gifted in dreams and visions. So I can see some things at night and they happen in the daytime. That's how spiritual I am. But coming to the human part of me, I have at one or 2 points said, did I really make the right choice?
Yeah.
Because coming here that first year, it was tough because my children have been used to going for holidays, go to Dubai, go to US. But then we're here, we can't even afford the things that we go to buy when we go on holidays back in the days. Yeah, so that for me was it was tough. At some point, my daughter, my last girl, she was 11 when we came. She said, "Mommy, are we broke?" Yeah, because she wanted to buy something at Walmart and I couldn't afford it. And I told her, look, maybe another time. She kept saying, "Mommy, you keep telling me, are we broke?" And she broke down, she was crying. I said, well, we're not broke, but before we came, I already told you guys that we're coming on a one-way ticket. And so we have to live life as minimum as possible. So one of the things also that I dreaded, I didn't see coming, was coming to be in the academic room, back to school. Yeah, I speak English in Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that speaks English as our first language. I've had 2 degrees in English language. I have my MBA. But coming here to do a master's degree, it looked, I was the only black in a class of 24.
Wow.
And it looked like they were not speaking English because I'd never been to Canada. That was my first time, and I was coming to be in the academic environment. So here you travel, you go to US, you go to UK, they speak different tonations of English. So for me, that first time, I had to go back to start understanding how do these people speak. Their language was totally different for me. So that panics me a little. But the good thing, again, my children helped because they were in school and they were able to fit into their school faster than because they are younger. So when I come home, I'm saying things, Mom, you can't say this thing like that. Your tonation is wrong. You have to say it like this. I learned a lot from them. Then the financial part, which I've mentioned before, is the fact that it was a struggle because you had to pay your tuition too. And God bless my sister. My elder sister was so supportive. She gave me my first tuition, and thereafter I started paying instrumentally. So I thought of at some point when I wasn't coping with the academics, I had to run to my academic advisors. I said, look, I don't know what's going on. I don't seem to be understanding things in class. I thought I was smart, but everything looked tough. But I had 1 or 2 classmates too who were kind, who were not looking at my color. So some people, I had that problem in class. There was this thing about, so when there were group assignments, I found out nobody picked me in their group. Now there was another Chinese girl in my class, so most times we end up doing our assignment together. She had language problems. She didn't want English, so I was doing the assignment. So at some point I had to go to my department, and one of the lecturers said, oh no, this can't go on. So they had to automate our grouping for all our assignments. So you couldn't pick people you like. They automated it from Brightspace. So it was tough. 1 or 2 times I tried to see, but when I remembered what I left back home, I didn't leave anything back home. Remember, I was bereaved. I'd resigned from my job. There was nothing to go back to back home. So I decided I'm going to rough it out here and then see us through.
I can see that you are very determined.
Thank you.
With your, vision for yourself, for your children, right? Considering, as you mentioned, you have felt like, especially in a classroom, right? Wherein you're the only nationality of Nigerian nature, right? So, tough for you.
Thank you.
And I believe your story for our audience will get them to see and understand and feel your experience too, right? To be in this country, right, where life is not easy. It's
not easy anywhere. Life is not easy anywhere. Just that when you leave your comfort zone and come out to a place you've never been to. I'd only visited Canada for 4 days, 2 years before we came. 4 days. And then I'm coming in on admission basis to school. And one thing also that helped me was the church. So I was in the Baptist church, the First Baptist church at that time, and they were very supportive. They were very, very supportive,
Yeah.
So all those, yeah. So you need to ask for support when you come to a new place.
Exactly.
Don't stay by yourself. Ask questions.
Mhm.
Yeah. that's
No,
what I
or
did.
else you'll never get where you are right
No,
now.
no, you will
Right.
never. You will just pack your
Uh-huh.
bag and return back to your country.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't ask questions, you'll be lost. And one more thing that I experienced while I was in school. So as an international student, your name is so different. You're not answering Jack, Jill, or Mary and Martha. Your name is different. Rita Ugbebor, anyone that says will say, where is she from? So as an international student, I learned from another international student. She said, look, when you get your script after any assignment, try and compare your script with other your classmates if you have anybody, because the likelihood is that you may be underscored
Yeah.
for what they call English, but you can push. So yeah, I had that experience. So 1 or 2 times I had to push back for my supervisor, my instructor to read my assignment and give it to another person to understand it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't be like I don't understand English. I understand and
You
I write good
understand it,
English,
right?
but the way my first term was rough, but after that I went to the learning center to so the way they speak English in Canada is so different.
Yeah, it's
And
different.
written in Nigeria, we thought we knew English, but I'm sure Nigerians, our English are not very good now, because from where I am, we were writing our spoken English.
Oh,
But
okay.
there's what is called written English.
Written English.
And in Canada, it's grade 4. Grade 4 English, basic English. We
Basic
in
English,
Nigeria, we
right.
use too much of heavy words, grammar, vocabulary, but here it's simple. So we have to learn to be simple when you write. So simple that a grade 4 student can read it, child can read it. Yeah, that's something I learned.
Yeah.
And the ability to be calm when you speak, you don't talk too fast.
Exactly.
We talk very fast
right?
in my country.
In here, you have to think it through,
Before you talk.
right? So sometimes that's the main challenge for us, who is not English by nature, is our first language.
Yeah.
Just like me, what happens is you have to first translate it in your own language.
Correct.
And then your brain is like a translator to translate it to English.
Yeah.
And then before you speak it.
Speak it.
Right?
Two different
You have to
things.
think it through first, like, oh, how do I convert this? How do I say this?
Yeah.
Right? So it's tough. And then, well, your journey coming here to Canada has been tough for you, but you survive the adversity too, right? And then considering you are a widow with 3 children, and that's the experience that you wanted to share in your book, right?
Yes, the
And
widows,
then
yeah.
your Facebook page, YouTube channel will be all about coaching, and you will
Coaching.
be, I believe, that is the right person for that platform, because you can share your real story,
Yes.
right? Through your story, people will be inspired, right? Like, hey, you can do this.
Yes.
I've done this. I've experienced this,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And all the details will be on your book, right? So we won't be, I won't be asking you a lot of questions right now, because I want to hold on to your book.
Okay.
I am excited with your book. I am excited with your social media platforms.
Yeah.
So probably my last question for you is, what would be your advice to those people coming from different countries who are aspiring to come here to Canada?
Yeah.
So what can you say to their dreams or to their aspirations?
Yeah. So what I would say is, before you venture into anything, not just about leaving your country to come to Canada, what I did was I went on holidays to UK, to US, and then Canada.
Okay.
I needed to see things from everybody may not be opportunity or privilege to do that trip, but go online, ask questions, check your friends, your family members who are already in those countries. Ask them genuine questions, and don't just ask them. Go online, and everything is online today. Go online and find out, read through those lines in those country websites, so you know who can come in, what you can do. Remember, like I said, I visited, I needed to know what can I do. So I had to come and do a degree. I couldn't get my PR, permanent resident as I landed, like an express entry for Canada. So I came in to do a degree. So that for me was key. I came to do something in that country. Don't go into any place without having what you want to do in that place. There are pathways to come in as a business owner in Canada. There are pathways to come in as a refugee. In case you have a problem in your country, you can prove that you had genocide or something in your country. You can come in as a worker, as a caregiver, as a clergy, a pastor or an imam or something. So don't just jump in like you visit and you stay. No, try to come in planned so that you don't face the hardship. See the weather, see the winter today. The winter is like how many feet? It's a lot today. It's supposed to be spring. So people come in by this time, they are shocked. They have a culture shock, a weather shock, an environmental shock. So come prepared, and most especially for me, I asked God for direction, and He did give me direction. He did, and provided helpers. Helpers. You see, you ask for something, 20 people give you something. The day my church bought, they furnished our 2-bedroom apartment. That's what the church. As we landed, we went to that church. I had even seen it in Nigeria in my dream. I wasn't going to First Baptist Church in Nigeria. I was in another church. But before I came, God had told me, you go to the First Baptist Church. The day we passed the church, I was like, that is the church I'm supposed to go to. And my children immediately, we moved to that church after about 3 or 4 weeks of worshiping in our own church. So I'm led spiritually. I ask questions. And I don't take no for an answer. People, one door might be closed, but 10 more doors might open for you. So, and that's exactly what I'm even doing on my social media platform, encouraging everybody, not necessarily a person who is bereaved or you lost a husband or a wife. No, anybody who at any point will need to start life again.
Yes.
Those are the people I'm looking out for, who will know that there's help if you ask. See the way I met you too. In Salad Master, and then today he's helping me with an interview.
It is. So thank you very much for that. I am excited for your book. Once again, Rita is an aspiring book writer. Also, please follow her on her YouTube channel, which will be launching soon. Facebook page too, right? So that those people who are aspiring to come here to Canada, whether you wanted some coaching, some help, you can ask her, right, through her social media platforms. And so that's it for me today. I hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, more tips, informations, opportunities, and inspiring story like Rita have shared to come. I will see you, God willing, on my next video. Okay, bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay.